Welcome back. In our previous video, we showed you how to set up your user account, how to modify your company settings, and how to manage your subscription level. In today's video, we're going to show you how to input questions for your trivia games. If you navigate to the Question Sets tab, you'll see at the top This Week at a Glance, and that gives you a view of the upcoming 7 days, so you as a business owner can take a quick look and see if everything is good to go for today or the next few days in the event there's an issue. Below that, you have the actual question creation set field. This shows a calendar view with all of the days of the given month, and you can go in for each and every individual day if you want and put in questions. If you only have a couple of nights a week, you can just put in questions for those nights. When you go to the calendar, you can see that when you hover over a day, it shows you not only the day, but also if there is a set available, and if there is a holiday for that day, it shows you what that holiday is. For example, May 14th shows as Ascension Day, which is part of the Christian holiday. The holiday color coding is listed down here below the calendar, and that shows federal, Christian, Jewish, Islamic, and secular cultural holidays. Since Bob has not input any questions yet, all of his days are showing in red as no set. If he were to input a couple of questions for a given day, it will show as partial. And if the complete set is listed, then it will show as complete. At the enterprise level especially, you have the option of having multiple administrators and moderators that can put questions in for your company. And if one of those is currently editing questions on any given day, you will see a little locked icon. If you are currently editing a question set on a given day, it will show this little icon here. Below all of that, you have the option to manually archive any questions on a given day. So say, for example, you already have 21 questions listed for today, which is May 9th. You could hit manually archive, and it will send all of those questions to your organization's question archive to be used later and allow you to input a new set. Below that, you have the option of putting in a theme. If you put in a theme in this field here, where it's like it suggests Lord of the Rings, it will take that theme into account when the AI generates questions. And then at the bottom, you have the Open to Edit, which allows you to go ahead and start putting questions into your question set. So we'll do that now. Open to Edit, and you will see the question set open up, and you will see the standard format, which has a category at the top, a question, and then an answer at the bottom. You also have an image field where you can drag and drop an image or upload a URL for an image, or pull one from on your local device. In the upper right hand corner, you have a few things that are very important to take into account. The first one is the difficulty level. There are default difficulty levels that go from easy to medium to hard over the course of the game. Those are preset, however, they are able to be manually edited as you go. So if you want to say that all of the questions are going to be super hard, you can just go in and click the difficulty level, set it at hard, and the AI and the Trivia Archive polling will reference that difficulty level when selecting a question. We're going to put it back at easy, and we'll give the AI generation a go to see how that works. So this is your AI generation button. A few things you need to know is if there is no category listed here, the AI will create a category for you, and then a question and answer to go with that. If there is a category listed here, for example, say Harry Potter, it would reference that category and make a Harry Potter question and answer. So since we don't have one, we'll go ahead and see how this works. Obscure animal sounds. What is the term for the high-pitched sound made by dolphins to communicate with each other? The answer being clicks. So the AI has created a category, a question, and an answer. Later on, when your questions are archived, this category, since it's a new category, will be added to your organization's category list, which I'll show you in a minute. What we're going to do is I'm going to pop over to another video here and pull a dolphin image. And then we will just bring that over, drag and drop it, and then we will hit save. So your first question generated with AI is now saved, and we can move on to the next. For the next question, we're going to go ahead and try the Trivia Easy archive. So this is the Trivia Easy button. We pull that question from one of our questions in the archive. The category is games. The question, in the board game Monopoly, what color are the cheapest properties? The answer being they are brown. So I'll again go back over to, we'll just say an image search real quick. And we'll just drag an image over and save. The difference here being that the questions from the Trivia Easy archive have already been input and approved by a human being, either for your organization or for another Trivia Easy organization. And by sharing these questions, it makes it a lot easier for everyone to be able to have an effective game. So then we'll move on and we'll go down and put in the halftime questions and the final questions to show you how those are different. The halftime question and final question have a couple of different options. They default to a matching style question, but you have the option of what's called an open list question. So in a matching style question, you have obviously the category and the question, and then the answer pairs. So one answer goes with, so number 1 goes with A, 2, B, etc. And when these are displayed in the display screen for your game, it'll show those jumbled up so that the audience has to actually match the answers together correctly. The correct matching pairs will be listed on your host's screen, so they'll be able to see not only what the viewers are seeing, but also what the correct answer pairing would be. We can go ahead and pull from our Trivia Easy archive, and it will create, this case, it defaulted to an open list. Since we pulled one that was already there, the open list category was selected for this question when it was input. So it just defaulted over to the open list because that's what this question used. The Commonwealth of Nations is the category. Commonwealth of Nations includes 51 nations that once belonged to the British Empire. Name 4 of the 5 largest, and then it lists the 5 largest for you. So if your answers were any of the 4 of these 5, then the team would have gotten it correct. Again, like any question, you want to put in an image, and there you go, save. And the final question is very much the same. We'll go ahead and select matching. And just like that, because the question that the Trivia Easy archive pulled, it knew it wasn't a matching style question, so it gave us an open list as well. So it really just depends on when you do the Trivia Easy archive button, what the question setup was, and that allows you to go back. If you don't like this, you can hit reset, and then we will go in and try it again. This is a matching style question. It says magazines is the category, and match each magazine to its founding year. And the pairing would show Time and then 1923, Rolling Stone, 1967, and so on. So if we wanted to get an image, we can just take one of those answers and put that in, and that gives you the option. And we'll hit save. And then we go on down, we have tiebreaker. The tiebreaker question is a little bit different. At the end of the game, if you have teams that have the same number of points, the tiebreaker option is specifically designed to have an answer that is a specific number. And the team that gets closest will be the one that is going to win the overall prize, or the higher level prize. So for example, if you had a tie between second and third, the team that got closest on your tiebreaker would get the second place prize. It pulls the category, the question, and the answer, and then you can find an image related to that. You do not have to input an image for any of these. You can leave them blank. It will just show the questions and the answers on your display screen. I do find, though, that images help when it comes to making sure that you have less negative feedback from your folks who might not have gotten the answer correct. That way you have a little bit of proof to show that that is indeed actually what the answer was. We'll go ahead and save that. Make sure we saved everything else, and then we will go ahead and close this. Now right now I haven't completed all of the other questions in the question set, so when I go to the top I can close the question set for the time being, and if I navigate away you'll see that May 9th is now showing as a partial set, which shows with the color code here. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly complete the rest of the questions, and then we will pick the video back up there. Alright, so now I have saved all the individual questions, and now the entire set has a question and answer for each question slot. So we'll hit Save All and Approve. 21 of 21 ready. It'll take just a moment. This appears in gray until the question set is saved, and then we should get a little pop-up that says all questions approved. Host can now use today's questions. Alright, below the question set list you have a category list. Since Bob's Trivia has not input any categories officially yet, and the questions that we input today have not archived yet, you would not have any categories here in your category list. This is a list of categories that you get to input as your organization that your questions will draw from. The categories are used by the AI before it selects one of its own. So for example, if you wanted to put in Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, mathematics, how to be smarter than a fifth grader, whatever the category list that you put in, that is what your AI will draw from first. It does that randomly every time, so that when you have categories present, you're using your categories. If you have this blank, the AI will always try to randomly generate one of its own. That is just there for your convenience. I find that having a vast category list makes your questions better. Today's questions set, you can click on this and it will show you the questions that we just input, what all their questions and answers are. This list is what is available to your hosts starting the day for each of the games. So for example, if you had a host that was going to host on today, May 9th, they would be able to see this question set as soon as it's available on their login screen, and that gives them a chance to review those questions and answers. So that, for example, if there's something that's difficult to pronounce, they have an opportunity to look up how to pronounce it, stuff like that. It's just there for their convenience. And then lastly, the question archive. Now, I went ahead yesterday and uploaded a few questions here to be archived just to show you how this function works. So when you have a question set like we just input and it's gone to the next day, those questions should upload into the archive. That is going to happen for questions that are new questions only. So if you pulled a bunch of questions from the Trivia Easy archive, they will not appear here because they're already in the overall archive. These are questions that your organization has generated. Alright, so for this one, it says, running from Honduras to South Nicaragua, this famous shoreline is named for a local tribe, not an irksome insect. The answer being the Mosquito Coast. If you wanted to put this into a question set when it's open, you would hit Use Again, and then that would allow you to input that into that day. So we'll go up here and we'll pick the next day, which is going to be Sunday, May 10th. And then we will say Open to Edit, start today's questions. That opens up our question set list here, and then we'll go down to our question archive. Use Again. So we'll use this again. Fill into slot number 3, we'll put it into slot number 1 because it was in number 3 on the first time it was used. We're going to put it into question number 1, confirm, and then we will be able to see that that question has gone all the way up to question number 1, coastlines. There's our question, our answer, and we have the opportunity to put in an image to go with that. I'm going to hit reset here so we don't end up worrying with all that. We're going to close out, and so any other hosts or moderators or admins who have access to edit questions in your organization will not be stopped from modifying that day. Since this is just Bob for Bob's Trivia, that's never going to be an issue for Bob. Alright, so that is your question creation. That will let us host a game in our next video.